Boom. What is up, everybody? How we doing? How we feeling? Welcome to episode 13 of the FinalVibe podcast. My name is Kevin Reap, and alongside me is my co-host, Andrew White. Andrew, are you ready for another episode?
Kevin, you know I'm always excited to do another podcast episode.
I know you are, and your excitement makes me excited. FinalVibe is all about your pursuit of legacy, and this podcast explores all aspects of life and legacy through discussions with all walks of life. And today we welcome Cayla Timberlake to the show, the head coach of Mizzou's Golden Girls program. Cayla, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm glad I'm here.
Absolutely. So let's start from the beginning. Head coach of the Mizzou Golden Girls. That's a big title. That's a big program. Everybody listening that has any knowledge of the University of Missouri is going to know what that means. What is it like for you to have that position, and what does your day-to-day look like as the head coach?
Wow. So as a head coach, it's a pretty big role to fill, big shoes to fill right there. We have an amazing squad this year. The, FinalVibe, it being about legacy, that's an incredible example of just having, the Golden Girls be around for the past 55 or so years. I'm only actually the third head coach that the squad's ever had.
Really?
So, yeah, like I said, big shoes to fill. Day to day, though, I've been very blessed with some incredible young women. They have great dance ability, great character, wonderful ambassadors for the University of Missouri. And so it's really fun to watch them become role models in the community.
Sure.
So they really make my job easy.
That's awesome.
Kevin, let's shoot down some stereotypes right now.
I was going to start with one of those. A question I think.
Go for it. And if it's not what I wanted, I'm going to jump in right after you.
I'm going to ask a question that I know the answer to, but I don't know if everybody does. Are Golden Girls cheerleaders?
So Golden Girls are not cheerleaders. We are kind of united with the cheerleaders in terms of being members of the Spirit Squad. So that includes cheer, that includes dance, and it includes Truman the Tiger, our mascot. Game day, a lot of people actually can't really pick us apart. But in terms of the difference between cheer and dance, a lot of people who watch Mizzou games, they may notice us in our gold sequin dresses, white boots, white palms. They might notice cheer as the ones, throwing people up in the air, doing the really, high caliber stunts, tumbling across the field.
I think another question people would want to know is, what are the differences in the skill sets that it takes to be a cheerleader versus a dancer or a Golden Girl?
That's a really good question. So a lot of young women who try out for Golden Girls, they're actually unaware, if they've never been to a Mizzou football game or a Mizzou basketball game, what our skill set is, because we do try to show more school spirit by being more of a pom squad during football games and basketball games, which is pretty similar to cheerleading. But during our studio practices or during nationals, that's really when the girls' technical ability shines through. The behind the scenes is mainly where you would see the difference as girls come through, we call it across the floor. That's going to be your turns, your leaps, your just technical background in general for dance. Whereas cheer, you're mainly working on jumps and lifts and different stunting ability.
Would it be fair to say that dance is more, I don't want to say artistic to short any artistic value of cheerleading, but is it more of an expression?
Yeah, and I don't want to speak on behalf of cheer or gymnasts just because I don't coach
it's all love
them.
Here.
But yeah, I would agree with that. I think that there is a certain emotion that can come through with dance. Maybe not necessarily at games, because again, we're trying to be the Spirit Squad, just united as one in terms of cheering on the team. But when you get down to the grit of what dance actually is, it's definitely more an expression that you can show. There's more emotion. There's more, that you can listen to the lyrics of songs and just kind of watch the lyrics, if that makes sense.
Totally. Let's talk about stereotypes. Are they just pretty faces, or are they smart? Do they have talents? Do they have interests? Are they getting good grades? Like I feel like you need to defend your squad here, because there's this perception that maybe they're just pretty and they just dance.
So I do get very defensive of the girls. Just, I think of them as my own. And that's a really common question. I mean, a lot of people who just look at the girls just assume, oh, they're a pretty face and they like glitz and glam and they've watched makeup tutorials or something. But it's way beyond that. We had well over 15 people that actually made the SEC honor roll, which is a 3.5 or higher. The majority of our girls have well above a 3.0 the entire year, and that's cumulative and semester. So it's hard. And I remind them that, they come to Mizzou to go to school. So academics comes first. This is just kind of on the side. Although it's a huge time commitment, school always does come first.
I think it's interesting that so many of them have such a high GPA, which is, by the way, super impressive. 3.5 and more than 50% of your team, because you said 15 out of 30 or 32 or 33 or whatever. Nearly 50% of your team has more than a 3.5, which is super impressive. And you were alluding to the fact that most of the team had more than a 3.0. Do you think there's any correlation between being successful in the classroom and then also the discipline that you learn just from being a Golden Girl? Because I think it's actually a pretty time-consuming thing. So, what is the schedule for a Golden Girl?
So if this was a normal year, which we all know
True.
that it's not.
If it were normal.
For fall semester, for example, and say it was a game day week. So if we had a game this upcoming Saturday, we would have practice Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, Friday afternoon. Then usually there's some type of rally, and then game day is usually the girls are arriving about 3 to 3.5 hours prior to kickoff. And then, as you all know, games are around 3.5 hours long or so. And that's not homecoming. With homecoming, you add a bunch of other festivities and rallies and the parade. And so the girls, it's a full-time job for them. They are dancing on, the studio nights, Mondays and Tuesdays, usually anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, depending on what needs to be accomplished. And then Wednesdays and Fridays are reserved for band practice. So that's when they're outside on the band field, learning how to just simply march with the band and learn the drill, which, last year with those 5 home games in a row, we had a really quick turnaround. So it was a lot of effort on the girls' end, especially we had 17 new girls who had never marched before. So teaching them how to turn and move to formations on yard lines and create curves. And it's just, there's a lot that they do on their own also, in addition to our scheduled practices.
Right. That's crazy. Is that literally 30 hours, 40 hours a week sometimes?
It can be.
It can be.
Yeah, it can be.
And that's insane. And I just think a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't realize that it literally is a full-time job, which is very cool.
Yeah. But, the girls love it. And so it doesn't feel
easy
like
probably for them. And also, in a normal year, there's a competition team. Tell us about that, because I think that's another element that people don't realize. I think they don't realize that the girls actually compete, and we don't see that because it's not at the football games or the basketball games. But what is that like, and do you travel?
So competition's an interesting subcategory, if you will, from Golden Girls, because a lot of the girls join Golden Girls, even though they are incredible dancers technically, they love the game day atmosphere. So Golden Girls is, 90-95% what you do on a game day. So that's more pom, more, rah-rah, if you will. So when we start talking about competition, that's where your girls who are super technical, or their background of, ballet and just all of that technical background and experience in the studio really shines through. Usually the nationals that we attend, it kind of has been back and forth between either going to Daytona for NDA nationals or going to California for USA nationals. So it just kind of depends on timing. For our girls, they have enjoyed going to USA nationals because the time frame of that is in February. So we can utilize Christmas break to practice a lot. And then that way they're able to attend any SEC tournaments or NCAA tournaments for basketball. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Let's jump into the history.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the fact that you said you're the 3rd head coach of all time, which is amazing to hear that. So what is the history of the Golden Girls program? Because that is an incredible place for you to be.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a huge blessing. I've, been given an opportunity of a lifetime just as the 3rd head coach ever. So a long time ago, about 55 years ago, Golden Girls was started by Patty Kespel. and it was actually a twirling line. So the girls had batons. They would use batons during pregame, halftime, and it was an actual twirling line, like maybe what you would see at Auburn. Not as many girls on the team. Then one time the band director said, just throw down the batons. Let me see. And I almost positive it was the Charleston. Let me just see you girls dance. So they just started dancing, and then from then on, it just became a dance line as opposed to a twirling line. There was one young woman who showed up to tryouts in a sequin outfit as her tryout outfit, and so Patty was like, oh my goodness, I think that's beautiful. The band director loved it, so they turned it gold, or they ordered, gold material, gold sequin, and then it's just stuck ever since. After Patty, there was Shannon Fry, and between the both of them, I mean, they have created a legacy that is unmatched across the country. You look at other schools which still have really high caliber dance teams, but the tradition that the Mizzou Golden Girls have is, like I said, it's just unmatched. We're one of the very few dance teams that still perform with the marching band. We still attend band practice. We still, wear the white boots, use the huge palms. It's just, we create just the pageantry of game day.
I love all that. I think one of the coolest parts, Kevin, maybe I'm biased for a couple reasons, but I don't feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, I don't feel like there are Golden Girl caliber squads across the country. Obviously, we went to Mizzou, and we know Mizzou, and we love Mizzou, and the Golden Girls are unique to that. But, I mean, are there other dance squads that have that sort of tradition, just the swagger that we have? Because I know that other schools have dance teams, but do they have names? Like, are they the Golden Girls? Like, for example, sometimes we go to the Mizzou-Illinois game for basketball, and the last few years, the Golden Girls will perform, and it's just different. Like, we're more professional. And again, maybe I'm biased, but I thought we blew them out of the water. Not to, I mean, I guess I'm kind of asking you to toot your own horn here, but why is that? Like, is there a reason the program is kind of better than other ones?
I appreciate that, first of all. I know any Golden Girl, past, present, and future, would appreciate that. I think that it truly has to do with just continuing to be a member or a part of Marching Mizzou. I think that it's rare because, band practices, I don't think that the band gets enough credit either. The girls are out there along with, 300 plus band members on, could be snowing, it could be 100 degrees, it could be raining, but they're out there, 4 times a week, rain, shine, snow, whatever. And I think that just maintaining just having that consistency and knowing that you get to be a part of pregame when that, when the drum line starts, the band runs onto the field, the girls are onto the field, their gold is just sparkling.
I think one of the coolest things about tradition is that it connects, this is probably obvious, but it connects the generations. So the fact that they are still doing, I mean, is it true to say that they are still doing generally the same pregame as they were, I mean, how many years ago? Like, how long has it been pretty similar?
It's been decades. You hear the announcer say the Big M of the Midwest and Flip Tigers. That's, where the band is, it literally flips and then they flip to the student side. And it goes from Mizzou to Tigers in like 8 steps. And it's just, each school has their own tradition, but there's just something about the Golden Girls. One little thing is that we still dance with our hair down. There's no bobby pins, there's no hair ties, none of that. And we try to keep it classy.
Well, and the boots play into that too, right? It's like the whole look. Like, how long has the look been around?
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
The look has been around since the beginning. Yeah, and it's funny because that's what's the hardest part for our rookie class, or, even some of your most technical dancers, because they're not used to dancing with their hair down. They're not used to dancing in boots with a heel, or, still just like having to have that pageantry look in, Missouri humidity.
Right. Totally. Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, I was going to say, because when you know that they have to keep their hair down, it's really funny because you'll see them like sort of like doing all the awkward head movements, especially when it's like hot and humid in August for like the first couple games and it's like stuck to their neck and all that. But it is cool, I think, and we'll get to this about legacy later. It's cool that people, even nowadays, are trying to preserve special things that happened in the past, and we want to keep that continuity, even though so many things are changing, but it's just kind of nice to see that common thread, I think, even in a small aspect of game day.
I think, yeah, it plays a massive part in tradition for sure. When I've watched the Golden Girls over the last 10 years during the halftime shows when they do dances with music, I'm always fascinated by how they know what the next step is. And I think a lot of that has to go with the fact that they've done this their whole lives. How long, I guess we should start, how were you introduced to the Golden Girls? Because the first time you were the head coach was not the first time you were involved with the program. Is that right?
Right. So, being from Columbia, born and raised here, my dad played football in the early 80s here. So we have bled black and gold for decades and had season passes for decades. And so it's just always been, it's a lifestyle, really. You just grow up going to Mizzou games. And I always was just so intrigued by the Golden Girls. They were always so kind. They would never hesitate to take a picture with us when we were little. So senior year of high school, I knew that I wanted to try out for Golden Girls. I had been, like I had mentioned, watching them my whole life, and I knew that it was such a prestigious program that I would be honored if I even had a chance to make it to the final round. So I thought that you had to, be super tan, and I decided to try out the tanning booth for a couple times. I had never done it before and ended up with internal sun poisoning.
Oh, no.
It was terrible.
Wait,
Internal
so like how long did you go in for the first time?
Oh, I mean, it was, you can't see my skin right now, but it was only like 6 minutes. I mean, it was
so
not
crazy.
very.
Aren't they
not
supposed
very
to
long.
like guide you through that process so that doesn't happen?
They probably assumed that a senior in high school had maybe tanned once or twice in her life.
Wow. You shouldn't assume things, people.
Right? And I don't condone tanning right now anyways. But yeah, so I had internal sun poisoning and smelt like solar cane at tryouts because I was just, it just itched.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
miserable. How did you dance with such misery
I
happening
think
on
that's
your
an
skin?
adrenaline rush.
You just tapped into the zone.
Right. Yeah. So back then, they would post your picture on the door if you made it. And so that seemed like walking the Green Mile, just walking up to the door and seeing some girls crying, some girls super excited. And then I saw my picture and I was just over the moon excited and knew that would be the beginning of what would hopefully be, a sisterhood, if you will, for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So you do have to try out every year. So, the longer you're on the squad, the harder it is. It's the scarier it is to.
Yeah, the harder the fall, right?
Yep.
That's crazy. So you made it as a freshman. Mm-hmm. And that's like kind of a big deal, right? Because not every freshman makes it, of course.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
It's hard. The coach, Shannon at the time put a lot of trust in the rookies is what, we were called.
The lingo.
Yep. Put a lot of trust in us and gave us a chance. And so we had to prove her right.
Did you have a good relationship with the upperclassmen when you were a freshman, or was it like Mean Girls?
It was not like Mean Girls, believe it or not.
There was no Regina George?
That would have been great content for you, I know. No Regina George, but as in anything, there's a sense of seniority. So being a rookie, it's hard because you just came, off of your pedestal as a senior of your high school team. Maybe you were captain, maybe you won, All-American or got asked to do this or that because you were the best dancer on your team. Well, with Golden Girl tryouts, it's the best dancers of your high school team, but from all over the place. You've got Texas, Chicago, Kansas, obviously tons from Kansas City and St. Louis areas. And it was really great to be able to bond with all of the new girls, but then to have the older girls welcome you in because it's, you're in college now. It's scary. You don't really know many people. And so they created a really nice atmosphere for us, but we still wanted to make sure we knew our stuff.
Sure.
So
it's an awesome opportunity for you, I think, to be able to walk through the process as a Golden Girls dancer and then turn around now and be able to help these girls go through their own time as a Golden Girl and then also a Mizzou student. You've probably seen highs and lows from your students. Is that the best part of your job is helping those students kind of, aside from the dancing, because you can assist with that and you have for years. But are you also kind of that mentor to them as well?
I would like to think I am. So it's funny because we have 33 girls on the squad this year. Last year we had 32. And, you get to know each girl on such a personal level. And you, as from a coaching standpoint, you try to stay away from that because you have to be their coach, not their friend. But then again, these girls, they're anywhere from 17 to 22 in age, and you live life with them pretty much. You're kind of like their mother figure, not to take that away from their moms, but when they're in college and you're the one that sees them 4 or 5 times a week, I mean, you're the one that they go to if they are sick, or if something happens, or whether it be an exam needing to be proctored or travel. I mean, even down to breakups and, little arguments amongst the girls or amongst their roommates or whatever. You kind of end up being a soundboard, which is honestly the part that I like the best of the job. I think that it's a pretty incredible opportunity to just be there for them and help them get through life in general.
Does that mean you're on 24/7? Do you feel like they can reach out to you 24/7?
I do. Again, that fluctuates depending on if there's an event coming up. And, I had probably 17 of them text me today that I was dealing with because we have an event on September 12th. And, being a new mom now, I have to remember to just, put on the do not disturb or whatever for a little bit during the day, just so that I can, be a mom and just kind of reprioritize my time during the day.
Sure. And we're going to come back to the new mom thing.
We totally are.
For sure.
That's rich talk for legacy.
It is rich talk for legacy. Prior to that, not very long ago, you were working 2 full-time jobs. Is that right?
That is correct.
That's a lot. So you were the head coach of the Golden Girls, and then also he doesn't
know how to say the word. Say it for him.
So it's called
ophthalmology.
Right. So it's my actual job title it was a certified ophthalmic medical technologist.
Perfect.
Kevin, say ophthalmic.
Ophthalmic.
That
That's
was
a weird
really
way
good
to say it, but
it's not.
Why'd you do that with your mouth?
Oh no! Don't do that to me. Anyway, the point of the question.
I thought it was funny.
It was fine. Andrew and I talk about this a lot. We work a lot. We put a lot of hours in, but we like to think that it's still a productive amount of time, and we're doing things that we love. And you've done that, and you're going to continue to do that now as a mother with one less job, but no less responsibility. How did you kind of stay above water during all of this thing? Because there's a lot that you've handled from 5 years ago to just now, when your whole life switches upside down again, but you're still here and moving forward. What do you contribute some of that to?
Honestly, I think having a good faith-based foundation is key. And I think being married to somebody who supports you no matter what is the other key to that. I ask myself that question too, just how did we do that? Because, working, I was also head of our satellite clinic. So every Monday I was either traveling to Kirksville or Osage Beach or Macon or Moberly. And so that would be like a 13-hour day just with that job. And then, practice, Golden Girl practice, I'd have to just switch and turn that on and, give those girls the time that they deserve as well, from 7 to 10 at night. I think that the biggest thing is that I loved both. And so it was my doing that I ended up doing both, I guess. The baby definitely added to all of that. I finally realized that I couldn't be super mom, and I had to draw the line somewhere. But it can be done. You just have to really, really love your jobs.
I think you nailed it because, Kevin, I think you would agree. But when you're doing stuff that you love, it doesn't really feel like work, And I have to actually hold myself back and create boundaries because I would just keep going and going and going because it's so fun. And that's cool that you felt that way about both jobs, because sometimes I think people are doing the thing that pays the bills and they can't wait to transition to the new thing that's more fun, and it's always been the dream, but it sounds like you enjoyed both.
Yeah.
For the whole time. That's
definitely
pretty cool.
Yeah, if you can think about it, I mean, being able to give people sight is pretty incredible. So I was kind of head of the LASIK team too, and so I would do all the calculations and just, get people out of glasses, contacts, people who had never been able to see, very well their whole lives, and then they wake up because, LASIK procedures only, it can be done in like 20 or 30 seconds for each eye, and they wake up and they're able to see, and it's amazing.
Oh my gosh, how do you not get like super emotional every single time?
Right.
Or did
you kind of get callous to it. It's kind of weird. every patient is different. They show a different level of appreciation. And, we've had a few cases where it's just, they just start crying and then they get all nervous because they're like, am I going to mess up my LASIK? And we're just like,
Don't take me back.
no, it's fine. But yeah, it's really, really fun to see that instant gratification. LASIK is considered a cosmetic procedure, if you will. So most of the time people could be corrected with glasses or contacts, maybe never to 20/20 or anything, but just, we've had people who have served in the military come because they wanted to be able to fly, but they couldn't wear glasses because those could fall off and then it causes a lot of issues. We've had, new parents who the mom and the dad want to come in because their little toddlers, ripping off their glasses or poking them in the eye and they want to be able to see all the time, which shouldn't be that big of a want to be able to see. But
have you had LASIK?
I actually don't wear correction. I don't need LASIK.
Nice.
You just have superpower eyes?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you have good eyes?
No, I actually have the worst eyes that you could possibly have. Second to my mother and my grandma. So I've needed contacts and glasses pretty much my entire life, which is why I just assume everybody else does. And I was wondering if you had LASIK because you probably would have got a good discount, I would imagine.
Right. Would have gotten a little bit of a discount, yes, but didn't need it, unfortunately.
No, that's unfortunately. That's good. That's good. I'm jealous.
Kevin, I like this question about tell us a favorite memory that you have from your time as a Golden Girl in college. Let's do a favorite memory of when you danced in college and then a favorite memory since you've been a coach. Can we do that or is that too much of the hot spot?
Nope, that's good. We're gonna give it a go.
Sweet.
Favorite memory on the team is by far in 2010 on College Game Day when we beat Oklahoma. They were ranked 1 and everybody rushed the field. It was, ESPN game or College Game Day was there. It was probably the longest day of my life in college, but the absolute best by far.
Greatest day of my life.
Best day ever.
Yeah, there's nothing that matches that day.
Was that the game that we returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fun story. I woke up that morning and told my roommate, Tony, who will be listening to this episode, that I woke up and said, we're going to run back the opening kickoff, and it's going to be the craziest thing we've ever seen. You never said that. I promise you.
No, you never said that.
He'll call in next week. I had a vision that night, and when it happened, we went crazy. That was the greatest day of all time, wasn't it?
That was so good.
And you had like the best spot in the house.
Yeah.
Was that Chase Daniel era? That was, right?
No.
Was it before that?
Is that James
After.
Franklin?
It was after that.
Yeah. So Chase Daniel was 2008.
That's right.
That was his last year.
Right?
James Franklin?
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Maddie Mock? Which one was it?
It was not Maddie. It was Franklin.
Got it. She knows. She remembers.
Maddie Mock had some big time wins too, though.
Yeah.
Another conversation.
Right.
So the Oklahoma game, that was the best day.
Yes. Yeah. I mean.
And what's it like on those big wins for like the Spirit Squad and the Golden Girls? Like, do you guys, because everyone's going nuts and you're on the field. What is that like?
So it's funny because usually where we stand, and a lot of people don't realize this even, but the TV truck, that's where they go back and forth. So on really good games, so a good game to somebody who's watching the game or any fan is going to be one where there's not a lot of downtime. The ball's being passed back and forth. And there's just, what am I trying to say?
Just a fast-paced game.
Yeah, fast-paced game.
Yeah, not a lot to stoppage play and all that.
Exactly. So it's even more exciting because you're trying not to get hit by or ran over by the TV truck.
Right.
And, nobody's really, you can't even really hear the band because the crowd's so wild. And you're just like looking to your left and right trying to figure out like what dance you're supposed to be doing. But everybody ends up just jumping up and down and cheering anyway. So it's so exciting and it's so fun. And I hope that, with given everything right now, that this group of girls gets to experience that this year.
Totally. It's got to be so much more fun when the team is good.
Yeah. From 2008 to 2012, basketball and football were, we were going to NCAA tournaments, bowl games, all sorts of stuff. So to be there during their winningest years for the most part was pretty incredible.
I bet.
I was going to ask about the travel because you've probably had the opportunity to go to some pretty sweet games across the country. What is your favorite college town aside from Columbia?
You can't say Gainesville.
No, and I'm not saying Lawrence.
Oh gosh,
Whoa,
was that,
that was
that a
never on the
possibility?
table. That was,
I just want to make sure we're all on the same
Lawrence
page.
was never an option.
I will have to say I was pretty impressed with Georgia. So last fall we played Georgia at Georgia, and I was able to take a group of 8 girls, and their atmosphere was insane. They just, I mean, their pregame was incredible with the light show. They've got all the music and the lasers, and just, you know, all the fans were in their seats, which comes with being a really great team too. And I know that fluctuates for every school now and again, but
Lasers? I want lasers.
Yeah,
I mean, they just had,
Well, how can we get lasers at Faroe Field?
right? I don't know.
so they were doing like Oklahoma 2010.
Yes.
But they do that every game.
Right.
Wow.
I want lasers.
Lasers would be cool. I thought there was
Yeah.
lasers at Mizzou Arena once. Do they do lasers sometimes?
It's the spotlight.
Okay.
kind
maybe.
of, yeah.
Oh, maybe
They've
they
got
were moving it so
flames on the
fast.
goal. Like
Maybe
on
that's
the,
what
Oh,
I'm
the flames are sick, and they do that at the football games too.
Yeah.
I'm a big. I like the flames.
Well, yeah, real quick, how hot are those? Because I feel those in section L.
Right.
No, I'm
Kidding.
serious. Like, I
Yeah.
feel the heat, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how is everyone down there not like,
Yeah.
like,
Like
do you
burning.
guys have arm hair?
Yeah, the refs are on fire. What about your? You won't answer this either, probably, because I don't know if I would if I were in your shoes. What's your least favorite college town that you've been to? And then I jokingly wrote,
Speaking purely to the town and nothing about the school.
yeah, right. Of course. The schools are off the table here. But I did write, what is your least favorite and why is it Knoxville?
Yeah, what is that?
Am I right?
Where did that come from?
I hate Knoxville. I don't like Tennessee.
No way.
I don't like their football program. I don't know. Tennessee's like my Kansas now. I needed to have someone.
Okay.
I filled that hole with Tennessee.
All
Too
right.
bright, right?
I don't
Oh,
know.
the
It's
color
just-
is awful.
It's the ugliest. Their stadium's ugly. Their colors are ugly. I don't know.
Well, now we know how Kevin feels.
They're an obnoxious.
See,
program.
Kayla's more.
What did Knoxville
she's
do to
nicer
you?
than you.
I can't tell you what Knoxville did.
It's funny because I had a pretty good experience in Knoxville.
I've been there 3 times.
And I mean, they played Mizzou's fight song before the game.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Thought
was
it was
there
a
that
pretty
I-
classy move. So sounds like you have a chip on your shoulder, man.
I do. And every game that we saw there was incredible. Mizzou won, I believe,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
Amazing experiences. But I don't know. I had to pick a team. Who am I going to? We got to have a rival.
We got on the bus to go back to the parking lot in Knoxville, and they were like, "Hey, great game. You guys have a good team."
Who-
I was like,
yeah, we were on-
that's not what I want from you.
We were on different buses.
We were on different buses.
I heard some awful things.
Fair enough.
Where were your seats? I don't know.
Hey, that's your reality.
I guess it was. Anyway, do you have a least favorite town? I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that one. But if you have one, you were ready.
I mean, it would probably be. I mean, Oklahoma was pretty brutal in terms of fans, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But we don't, when we travel, we don't get a ton of downtime in terms of getting to experience their community, get to know some of the people there, because we're there for such a short amount of time that we really only know the stadium, and that's it.
Right.
I will say, after the Georgia game, although it was a really great experience for all of us, minus the loss, we got on the bus and saw the team drive away. I think they were going to the airport. Then the band bus was in front of us, and then we shared a bus with cheer, and our bus didn't leave because it ended up breaking down, and we didn't get to leave the stadium until 5 a.m. the next morning.
Whoa.
Oof. I bet you had some cranky gals.
It's good bonding for them. Usually you take your upperclassmen to those, so it was good. But
Oh, that's right.
I was like, Truman didn't shower, so it's just,
Oh, poor Truman.
we
yeah.
all were on the same
Poor
bus,
Truman.
and there was no extra set of clothes for one of the cheer guys, and it was just
That's rough.
smelled bad.
How bad does the mascot, not the person, but the suit, how bad does the suit smell? Is it the same Truman suit for like the last 50 years?
No,
Oh,
thank goodness.
Just for the tradition.
Right. Those they're super expensive, so they usually only get, one a year usually. And again, I'm probably out of line in terms of speaking for them, but
that's okay. I just
You used
didn't.
to be
I
able to
just-
tell when Truman went to the dry cleaner, because you'd come up to the big game, and it was like
Fluffier than usual.
Truman's looking a little good. He's got a nice shine to him.
right, maybe that was a new
He
suit.
was trying a new food, better for his coat or something.
Yeah, he went vegan.
Yeah. Okay, let's, if you're okay with this, shift gears back to you a little more personally. Just recently, I think in April, became a mother for the first time. Is that
May
right?
1st, yep.
May 1st.
Yep.
Wow, okay. I was close. First, congratulations. And then
Thank you.
secondly, strange time, I would imagine, to bring another human into the world with everything that's going on. What has that been like?
It's funny because, a lot of people who are already parents ask me that, and I'm able to say that I don't have anything to relate it to. So it's nice. So for me, this is just how motherhood is. Stores are closed, people are wearing masks. Hopefully my child will recognize faces that don't have masks on them.
That's a great thing.
It's different. A lot of times you're able to go places and see family and, travel and just get them out and about for, your little one and yourself just to get out of the house. But with COVID, it's been pretty difficult. Lots of just staying at home, staying in the area. Just, luckily my parents are still here. My husband's parents still live here. So we've been around them a lot, but it's, you don't want her to be exposed, and you don't want, I don't know, there's a fine line between how much do you do with your baby when you really shouldn't be out and about, per mandate.
Totally,
rules.
yeah. I bet that's hard to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's only been about 3.5 months. What would you say is the best part so far of being a mother?
I would have to say just watching something that you created learn to recognize, learn to smile, learn to laugh, just those different milestones that you're able to witness. And again, I'm very blessed that I was able to, leave the other full-time job. So it's funny, our little one, she started sleeping through the night at about 6 weeks. So we really can't complain because that 6 weeks just, it just flies by. And, through the night, if you will, was about 9 p.m. to like 5 in the morning. So,
I mean,
that's right. Exactly.
I'm not a parent, but I would take it.
Yeah.
Andrew and I don't have kids. We have friends that are either pregnant or have recently had kids.
Well, we have dogs.
We have dogs. Which
kind
I
of the
think
same in puppy. Yeah.
I'm totally joking.
Think of it as a puppy.
Yeah, just as great to watch the dog's milestones as it is, I'm sure, your daughter's. But it's, that's not typically the case, I would imagine. 6 weeks to
right. Yeah.
full night. Congratulations on that, too. That's pretty great.
And also, can we ask her name? What's your daughter's name?
Yeah, her name is Sophia Louise.
Oh, that's
so
a
we
pretty name.
call her Sophie or Sophie Lou.
That's fun.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah.
You're going to have to take her to Sophia's when she's
Oh,
of age.
she's been.
Oh, she's already been. Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. But she won't remember for a while, probably.
That was the meal that, we're in the hospital and I can't eat anything. And my husband has somebody bring him Sophia's for dinner.
Man.
And I was like, I
Come
could
on,
smell
dude.
it. It smelled so good.
That's rough.
Right. But it is very fitting.
Yeah, no kidding. Does that mean you love pasta?
I do love pasta.
I feel like that's like most women really love pasta.
Most women love carbs.
I love carbs.
We're not supposed to like carbs.
Oh, no, carbs are a
You
friend.
like carbs.
I hope we talk about food later in the podcast.
We'll get to the food.
We totally will.
We'll make it come up, without a doubt. So let's go back to Mizzou and talk about a place that I think we all love around this table. You said that you bleed black and gold. Your father was on the Mizzou football team in the 80s. Parents are both alums. Why do you think Mizzou is such a special place? What makes it such a special place in your heart?
I think part of it just, being from here, it's something that you just subconsciously are always a part of. You're either going to games or parades or it's, everything's just black and gold everywhere, even at the grocery store. They've got MIZZOU flags up. I think once you're in school, one of the reasons I wanted to go here was I loved how beautiful the campus was. That was one of the things that I was really impressed with. I loved the atmosphere of being in, because especially the Kansas City and St. Louis, people aren't going to say that Columbia is a big town, so you get that, you almost get a small town feel, but not knowing, the 30,000 some odd students that are here, you still get a chance to kind of create a new identity, if you will. You get a chance to leave high school, but also still go home for dinner and to do laundry if you want to. So that was really appealing to me at the time. So
I think the hardest part about being a freshman is laundry, right?
I would agree.
It is for a lot of students. Recently,
it's the worst.
they changed it now. Students that live on campus don't actually have to pay for laundry. It's included in their tuition, so they just swipe their ID and
they don't have to pay, or they don't have to pay like in the moment?
They're definitely paying.
I was going to say, that's like saying you get free rec access, which
Right.
they totally say. That is so not true.
Right.
I
It was
can't,
baked into your tuition.
I can't comment on that either. But the laundry is now,
Huh.
you don't pay while you do it.
My
Also,
dad
Wow.
coined the term included for our wedding. He's like, nothing's free, it's just included
Totally.
now.
Yeah, that's so funny though.
So-
It's so funny. It's so true.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to transition us this way. I think one thing that a lot of people are probably wondering is what sort of training are the girls doing? Like, do they exercise on top of all the dance? And then what are their diets like? I'm sure people probably want to know that, unless I'm crazy.
No, I think so.
People are
That's a
probably
fair question.
curious. Yeah, what are the dancers eating?
It's funny because, dance is such a cardio sport. So it's sad when some people think that dancing isn't a sport at all, because the amount of, to sound cliche, blood, sweat, and tears that goes into any given practice, I mean, it's real. And these girls work really, really hard to create that product that the fans see on game day. So usually as a team, we try to keep it like team bonding. So cardio from running it feels a lot different than cardio from dancing. So our girls are obviously more used to dancing, especially with all the COVID stuff going on. They've just kind of been getting into the studio whenever they can, not necessarily, wanting to run outside in Missouri humidity. From a coaching standpoint, to create the stamina that's necessary for a game day, running has to play a factor in that. So the girls do run before every practice, and they do a series of, a really upbeat warm up, to get their heart rate up. They do a lot of stretching because obviously you don't want to pull anything.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Lots of ab workouts, because not so much to have your stomach look a certain way, but it creates a really strong core so that girls are better set up for success and to turn, or to be able to do their motions and keep them controlled. And so having a strong core is really the foundation of being a good dancer.
And that makes a lot of sense, because a lot of people who train for aesthetics totally neglect their core strength and stability because it's not required to look a certain way. But I think one thing that blows my mind about dancers is body control. And like, we've all heard stories of like NFL linemen who tried yoga or dancing or ballet because they needed more body control, and they just failed miserably at first. So I think it's probably a super underrated part of the athletic aspect of being a dancer. And then what about food? Like, they're all in super great shape. So like, what do they have diets, or do they just eat ice cream on the weekends and pizza because they dance so much, or how does it work?
It's funny, I don't actually know. I
Yeah,
mean,
and that's
I think,
awesome.
the girls, I don't want to be somebody who, tells them what they can and can't eat. My job is just to make sure that they're all healthy. So make sure that their lungs are healthy, their heart is healthy. So whatever that is, because there's no body type that's the exact same. And so you can't group them all together and say, you can only eat salads, or you can only eat French fries, or you can, just based on what your body needs. As long as you are able to get through a 3.5-hour football game, and this is hard.
No, I mean,
Hard
I think I hear you saying is like, as long as you can do what you need to do, and,
Yeah.
and you feel your body according to what you need, and it's that
Yeah.
easy. And it's also probably super helpful that they are so active that they just probably don't have to watch what they eat nearly as much as a more sedentary adult would.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And I like that you said that, because I think there is a stigma in the dance industry that you have to starve yourself to be skinny, or just if you talk about the struggles that young women go through with body image in general, there's that idea that you have to eat a certain way. But I always love when people do a lot and eat a lot, and they have a healthy body for it. So that's cool, and it sounds like that's what the vibe is for the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so the question that we ask everybody that's been around this table so far is about legacy. And what we really want to know is what that word means to you. And when you live your life day to day, how do you think about the overall purpose that you have and how you want to be remembered?
Great question. So for me, I think that legacy, to be able to define legacy, isn't going to be something that I can even do right now, because I think that creating your legacy it's mainly the journey to get there. You don't know what your legacy is until it's been left behind, right? So truly, I think that legacy, it just has to do with how you treat people, staying humble no matter what life throws at you, showing other people grace because it was shown for you. And I think that in the long run, that's how people are going to remember you, is how you treat them.
Absolutely. Do you think it would be more meaningful in the long run to be remembered, possibly even by girls that you're coaching now, if they see you 20 years later, to say things like, Cayla was such a supporter of me, or she was a mentor to me, or she cared more about my academics and my growth as a person than she did dance or any sort of accolade that we could have collected as a team? Do you think that will be more meaningful than trophies?
I definitely think so, especially long term. Short term, who doesn't like to, win trophies?
Of course.
But to have an impact on, young women who are, again, trying to just find their identity. College is a time in your life where you meet new friends, you lose old friends, you keep old friends. It's a time in your life that there's just so much uncertainty, kind of like the year 2020 so thus far. And I think that if I were to see any of my girls in the future and they remembered me for trying to be a good role model, nobody's perfect, but trying my best to be a good role model and just be there for them, I think that would be the most meaningful thing.
That's awesome. Do you have any words of encouragement for your team this year? Anything that you would say to them, despite all the weirdness that's going on with the world right now?
I would honestly just say, I would tell them to keep up their positive attitudes. I know, again, that sounds cliche, but they have done an incredible job of just handling everything that's been thrown at them, whether that is ever-changing protocol for testing or having events and appearances and games be taken away from them, having parades be taken away from them, having a trip to Ireland taken away from them. They just, every time I see them, they just, come into the studio, they're bright-eyed, they want to dance, they want to see each other. And if they can just maintain that mindset, then we'll be golden. No pun intended.
Oh, that was good. What a sign-off.
That's pretty great.
I think she meant to do that. A very cool answer. Another thing Kevin and I have talked about in the past is that this is like the first time in life in history when we've had recorded audio like we do with podcasts. Given that you're a new mom, is there anything that you would want to say to your new daughter if she somehow finds this podcast 10 years, 20 years later and digs it up? It could be cool to have said something to her. Do you have anything? Does anything come to mind?
We joke about telling her that she is always and forever going to be in quarantine, that she's never allowed to date, and that she's never allowed to.
Genius.
That's pretty
This
good.
is the new normal.
6 feet.
Right.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, dating, social distance dating.
Yeah.
Every parent's dream come true.
It really is. Save room for everybody else.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure 5 people can be between you and your date.
I would probably have to tell little Sophie Lou to just continue to chase her dreams and that her mom and dad will be there to support her no matter what.
That's awesome.
That's sweet. I feel like they will. Like, the kids are going to listen. Like,
I would.
oh my gosh, I would. If I found out that my parents were on a podcast, like, I would be like, how do I find this?
Seriously. If for no other reason, just to make fun of them.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
that's
like
great.
no history. Like my dad, when he was 28, 29, there's no history of that anywhere in the world, right? Like it's in his head. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
it. We're like voluntarily doing this every week.
I also think, too, like when I think about people that are, older, grew up in, the 20s or the 30s, that they were just stoic and super responsible all the time. But they probably told jokes and stuff, right?
I bet they did.
But like you see them in the photos and they're just so like,
Yeah.
They were emotionless.
Yeah. They were memeing.
They were. They really were. Man, they didn't even know what memes were back then, man.
They didn't. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, what if we take a lighter turn on the podcast, have some fun, and let your personality shine through? It's also a nice casual way to end the podcast, and we can send everybody off into their Tuesday feeling good. Does that sound good?
Sounds great to me.
Cayla, what's your favorite movie genre?
Ooh. Thriller.
Oh, no way, yeah?
Yeah. Not scary thriller, but like suspense, I guess.
Yeah, like psychological thriller? Could we say that?
Kind of. Like
Give us examples.
the Ocean's movies.
Oh, those are good.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So a
Mission
little bit of
Impossible.
action
Yeah.
for sure in there.
Ocean's 11 is my
Yellowstone.
favorite
I know
movie.
it's not a movie, but
That's a show, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like violent,
good.
right?
I mean,
What is Yellowstone on? I've heard so much about Yellowstone lately.
I think it's on. We just do it on Amazon. Watch
Okay.
it on Amazon.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of hype. I've
pretty
heard a
good.
lot of hype. How do you feel about romantic comedies?
As long as there's comedy, I like it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy romance movies.
Oh, tell us more. Why?
I just think that they're boring.
Yeah, no, that's a
Boring.
cliche,
Yeah.
right? A little
Yeah.
cliche.
Mhm.
You know it's coming.
Yeah.
You know exactly
Funny-
what's coming.
Yeah, like mindless rom-coms. I mean, just kind of stupid movies like Forgetting
Yeah.
Sarah Marshall.
Oh my
or-
gosh, it's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's just little ones like that where you just don't even have to
Yeah,
think about what you're watching, but it's just
it's just kind of
just
funny.
like relationships downward spiral.
It is funny. It is fun to watch romantic relationships fall apart on TV.
Mhm.
It's kind of messed up,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
Kevin, jump in if you have questions, but I've got more.
What's your favorite restaurant in Columbia?
Yeah, it's good. And
I
you can,
do
you can
really
mention a
love-
couple.
Okay, I do really love Sophia's. I also love Chris McDee's.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, that's a good one. We haven't heard that
Mhm.
one yet.
Chris McDee's is really good. If you're looking for a place that's surf and turf kind of.
I was going to say, get specific. What do you get at Sophia's? What's your jam
salmon,
entree?
Their salmon is to die for,
Okay.
and also their lobster and crab dip. It's an appetizer.
So you're a seafood gal.
Kind of.
Can be.
Kind of, yeah. I also have been known to eat like a 5-year-old. So
Oh,
I'm
nothing wrong with that.
yeah. I mean macaroni and cheese, hot dogs.
Macaroni and cheese is another one of those foods that I feel like every woman likes.
Mhm.
I think that
Am I getting in trouble for saying that? Was that
No.
sexist?
no, but it's the second time you said it where it applies to everybody. Like
Oh, everybody likes mac and cheese?
everybody likes mac and
Oh,
cheese.
my bad.
Well, it goes. It's the same thing that you said the first time. Women like carbs. I think everybody likes carbs.
No, she said that women love carbs.
What was the yeah? But whatever that topic, it doesn't matter.
Pasta. I said
We
that
all-
women love pasta.
That's what it was.
I
Yeah.
say that.
Right
I
back
say
to
that
the
because
same.
I'm actually not a huge pasta fan. Like, don't get me wrong, I will smash pasta if you put it in front of me, but it's not. I'm not going to order it.
I
I
don't
would-
really like red sauce. It has to be
Yeah.
like Alfredo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I order pasta like once a year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's not a go-to.
Another favorite restaurant though is Pasta Factory. If you get the
You're exposed.
We don't have
Pasta.
That, right? That's
yeah, we
not-
do.
What?
Not the Pasta House, the Pasta Factory.
Where is this?
Off,
Kevin's a Columbia restaurant connoisseur,
Wait.
and you've stumped him.
Hold on. I know where it is. It's Pasta Factory.
Uh-huh.
Is
off of West Broadway, in between Pickleman's, and I think it's a vape shop.
Nice.
off West Broadway.
Yeah, like it's sitting
I don't.
in front of Walmart.
Yeah. Okay. By the
Oh.
Starbucks.
Other building. There
Okay.
used to be like a sleep apnea place right there.
All right. Okay.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't
Pasta
know where
Factory.
this is.
Yeah. Well,
But
no,
I don't
If you
claim to
go
be a
to-
connoisseur.
I thought I was, but you stumped me.
You'll have to go.
Are you a pizza person?
I like pizza.
You seem skeptical.
I don't
I don't
believe
like
you.
a ton of red sauce.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just specific to pasta, just red sauce. It's just low quality, not very exciting.
Right.
Yeah. Where do you prefer to buy your groceries? Well, this will tell us a lot about you.
Yeah, everything we need to know. This might end the interview.
Well, I'm sure you'll be sorry to hear I've never been to Aldi.
Well,
Whoa.
no, it's okay. You are missing out, though.
That's more surprising than
yeah.
it is disappointing.
I've heard. Hy-Vee.
Love Hy-Vee.
Mhm.
What's the best part about Hy-Vee? What do you not have a favorite part about Hy-Vee, Kevin? Why are you laughing
I
at
just
me?
love that question.
I was online.
Really? Did
Which
you do
one?
the online thing?
I've never done the online thing until I had a baby, and then it's hard to get anything done. So I was online, become your best friend,
Do they?
or curbside
I believe
pickup.
that.
If the thing that you want isn't available, do they find their best alternative?
On Aisles Online.
Yeah.
So they actually give you options. So you can either let them pick what they think is, most similar, or they'll let you pick, or you can just like disregard that product
Got it.
and they won't add it to your cart.
I want that job where I'm deciding what people's replacement's gonna be.
Oh, dude,
Just
can
so
I be
good.
that guy?
Yeah. Well, we're out of Captain Crunch, but I'm gonna find you the next best cereal. That'd
That would be
tough
fun.
job.
I
It'd
be so
think
much
that'd be
fun.
super rewarding.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah,
That's a great question.
that is a good one. Kevin, you got another one?
Do we ask the protein question?
Oh, I think you should.
We got to throw it in here. Do you know how much protein you eat per day?
I do as of late. So,
This is exciting.
right, since
Very
I started doing my smoothies, I don't know if you've heard of Juice Plus.
Yes.
It's a soy-based protein.
Oh, okay.
But it's all your, again, me saying I eat like a 5-year-old. I've never been huge. I've never craved fruits and veggies. I didn't really like the texture of salads for a really long time. So Juice Plus kind of they've got like little gummies and you can eat your fruits and vegetables, but they also have a soy-based protein powder. So you can get like 15 grams in one scoop,
Yeah.
if you will. So I try to do like 2 scoops a day.
Have you ever done more than 5 protein shakes in a day?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
I was going to say 5.
I'd be ripped.
Well, I was just asking her.
I'd be ripped.
Oh, she said she'd be ripped.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go. That's all you need to hear, folks. Yeah. And so Juice Plus is it pre-made? Like, are they pre-made smoothies?
No,
Oh, okay.
It's just the protein powder.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. I understand.
I've
I
had the
understand.
Juice Plus pills, right? Don't they have like the pills you can take?
Yeah, they do.
One red, one green.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get
Want
your
fruits
and
and
veggies.
vegetables, yep.
Yeah.
But I like the
Oh,
gummies.
Kevin,
I like
you know
the gummies.
so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I don't like coffee.
Wow.
Oh, well.
Are you a tea drinker?
So
Are you a water drinker?
Are you hydrated right now?
No, I'm just kidding. Have you ever heard of Spark? Advocare Spark.
I don't think so.
So it's that's usually how I get my caffeine. Like once a day in the mornings, I'll mix it. It's actually got 120 milligrams of caffeine in
Yeah.
it.
Dang.
So quite a bit at once, but it doesn't give you the jitters or anything. So that's kind of
Sure.
like my coffee in the morning. I'll mix it with an emergency, and
Ooh, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a pretty good way to start the day.
it's a great way to start the day.
Are you a morning person?
I am now.
You have to be now.
Yep.
If
Yep.
you're, were you always that way?
No. So
Are you a night owl?
I definitely was a night owl. Yep. I could stay up super late and then be totally fine the next day. To me, anything before 8 a.m. is the same, So now that we've got our little girl, she'll wake up anywhere between 5 and 9. So I've learned to just enjoy that time, whether she's awake or not, and just be able to either get stuff done or be able to bond with her.
Yeah,
So
totally. Well, that's fun. Have you seen the movie Titanic?
I have.
Who's your
but it's
favorite
a
character?
romance.
Well, it is a historically based romance.
Okay, fair.
Don't you think?
I mean, yeah,
I mean, I don't want to
that's a
force my
fact.
opinions.
that's a fact.
How many times have you seen Titanic again? If you had to
It's
guess.
uh,
Hundreds, right?
no, not hundreds. I mean, if you think about that's a lot.
Hundreds is the wrong term to have.
I
should have
bet you
said
like the
dozens.
Notebook.
I think The Notebook has its strengths, for sure. Cliche. I think the best part about The Notebook is Ryan Gosling's beard.
Interesting.
Don't you? No, just me.
I've seen The Notebook one time in high school, and I don't remember any of it.
Well,
I remember it being
Especially-
sad. I don't do sad.
It was sad. Don't they die at the same time at the end?
okay, Kevin. A lot of people haven't seen the movie, so
It's been out for 20 years. Didn't I spoil the movie last time, too?
you probably did.
I think I did. Sorry, folks.
Okay, they die together at the end, but it's kind of supposed to be a sweet thing.
I'm sure it is sweet. I remember it being sweet. Yeah. So it's not bad it's a sweet movie.
Yeah, it's for sure cliche though, and I wouldn't say that The Notebook is top 5 movies for sure, but Titanic is number 1, and I would say I've probably seen it 70 times.
Wow.
Probably.
Okay. All right.
How
Yeah.
about Inception?
I've seen it once. Would love to watch it again.
You kind of have to watch it
Yes.
3 times. Probably.
I also notoriously fall asleep during movies, and I fell asleep for at least 50% of Inception. So I haven't really seen it.
Well, you should see it again.
Will you watch it with me?
Yes.
Okay.
I will, I think. I've only seen
Cool.
it maybe twice.
Totally. Kayla, what's your ideal vacation?
Where are you going to go when this is all over? If you can go anywhere, where are you going to go?
And will you come back?
A lot of questions.
Yeah, we should let her answer.
Oh gosh, favorite vacation spot. It's hard because my husband grew up skiing. So, my in-laws have a house in Frisco, Colorado. So I love the mountains and the snow. I'm definitely a cold person. Like winter and cold weather is my favorite. I prefer that over the heat, to be honest with you. Vacation-wise?
I mean, do you like to ski? Do you like to shred the slopes?
I'm terrible at skiing.
Cut the powder?
Yeah. I mean, I love it, but I'm just not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, still green and blue for me.
Have you ever
Haven't
had
done
an epic yard sale in
Never
skiing
d-
terms?
Oh.
Sorry, not
I
literal.
was like-
Sorry, not a
I was
garage
like,
sale.
What is that slang
A yard?
term mean?
Oh, it's when you like totally wipe out on a
Oh,
slope
really? Oh, that's
because
yard.
because your skis and your gloves and
Everything's
your poles
everywhere.
yeah, it looks like
Oh,
a
I
yard
love
sale.
that. That's funny.
So oddly enough, I actually learned how to ski without the poles because I kept like trying to stop myself and I would just fall over. So I don't really ski with poles. Have wiped out many times.
Sweet.
Yep. We'll go with sweet.
Have you ever
painful.
broken any bones?
No, never broken
Never?
any bones. Nope. My back is fractured from dance and baton, but,
Oh
Other than that sounds
but it's
pretty
not
serious.
broken.
Yeah, I guess. My goodness.
man, of all the
Yeah.
ways to break your back, dancing.
That would be the way that she would do it.
Yeah, totally, totally. What were you like in high school?
What was I like in high school? I don't even know.
Well, because okay, I'll go first. I thought I was cool, but I wasn't.
I think we all thought we were
Yeah,
cool,
I mean,
right? I think.
I will say I was kind of an overachiever. So I was on our high school pom squad. I ran track. I took AP classes. I tried to befriend everybody. I was president of the marketing club. Ninth grade, I was student council president. I had a lot of different friend groups, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So I knew no stranger.
I think you were probably way cooler than Kevin or I was.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you win. You just said like 20 cool things that you were. You were like president of the world, and
I did 0 before school activities, 0 after school activities. I just went to school, had some fun, and came home. You were much cooler than we were.
Now you guys have a podcast.
Kevin blossomed late in life.
That's true. Yeah.
That's
Late-
cool. So
late
you were
bloomer.
like in the athletic crowd because you grew up dancing, obviously.
I guess.
So
But I was also in astronomy club, like
yeah, but
I
that's
don't-
cool though.
You don't want to put labels on people.
Oh no, of course. No, I just meant you did like a lot of your extracurriculars
Yeah.
were like athletically based.
Well, you were in the
Yes.
astronomy club?
Mhm.
I feel like we should have clubs like that. And I know they exist, but it should be a more normal thing for adults to have clubs like that.
Yeah.
Why don't we do
I
that?
would love to watch like meteor showers and
If you'd like a group, that'd be cool. I'm
It
sure
would be
exists. And but I feel like there's like a gap, like after high school, no more clubs until you're 65, and then you join clubs,
then it's
That's what
called
it seems
bridge.
and then you're playing bridge with your friends.
It's true. I was in juggling club in middle school, and I learned how to juggle.
Wow.
What?
Was it the coolest club? No. Was it all the studs? No. But did we learn? We did.
Can you still juggle?
I can. I mean, I can do very basic juggling. I can juggle 3,
Interesting.
like not too hard to catch. Like I can't do bowling pins, but
Those are hard because they're weighted different.
it's super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, cool. Well, I think this has been fun. This has been fun.
I think so too.
Thanks for entertaining our fun questions at the end. Kevin, do you want to do an outro?
I do.
For the
Cayla, thank you
podcast?
so much for joining us. This has really been fantastic. I mean,
Of course. Thank you for having me.
for real. Yeah, let's do the outro. Cue us up.
You want to do the outro?
I want to do the outro.
Oh, okay. Man, I really wish we could do the music or something.
Wouldn't that be?
If
I wish we could.
If we could line that up at the end.
Yeah, I thought you have in the past, but maybe
But-
you just don't know how to.
Yeah, I don't think I know
Oh,
how.
well, wait a minute. Is this a little different?
Nope.
Sounds a little different. Don't forget, everybody, if you're looking to change your life and focus more on your own legacy, a FinalVibe membership provides you with immediate access to a community of people doing just that, as well as plenty of other exclusive content. Today's episode was produced by co-host Andrew White. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to future episodes and tell one other person about us. FinalVibe is on Facebook and Instagram at FinalVibe, and you can see our apparel and coffee on our website at FinalVibe.com. Enjoy the rest of your week, folks. We appreciate you listening, and we will be back here next Tuesday for yet another episode of the FinalVibe podcast.
I can't believe you didn't know it was the same song.
That was different. That was different. That was different.